The other, the next development I'd like to just have a quick chat about is the use of UGC, user-generated content, and that's been creeping into a lot of television programs in the last couple of years, partly as a function of the improvements in technology and the fact that people can shoot on GoPros or on phones or whatever. And this is the BBC, I've just finished working in commissioning for the BBC, and we've talked about rigs a lot and come to the conclusion that by and large, they're not easy for the BBC to do because they're very, very expensive. And you have to do a lot of them in order to make the money work, B, and C, Channel 4 already doing them and doing them really brilliantly. So they've kind of tended to seize on UGC. So there's been a few things like Britain in a Day, there's a few projects, and I think probably the most successful one so far has been Our War 2.
I suppose the one thing that is it has, in the same way that you might say rig shows at their best, there's kind of an unself-consciousness about them, in that you're not aware of the cameras, and they can feel, you can be observing something and it can feel really kind of visceral, not very sort of set up. And I suppose that feels very much like that as well. I mean, that feels, it's unmediated, it feels very unmediated, very unproduced, and I think rig shows at their best can feel like that. You can get moments that just play out, and that plays out in that way as well.
Do you see why the documentary genre has followed that, though? Because we've become so used to viewing first-hand material, UGC, through the internet now, that the documentary genre had to follow and capture that immediacy that people were getting, UGC content from protesters, from the police, and it was being uploaded, and people were getting, in order for television to stay relevant, it's natural, I think, that we find ways of capturing that and using it as the USP for a factual series.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen Our War, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, I remember I haven't seen the second series, I haven't caught up with it yet, but the first series I thought was fantastic, and it was it's interesting you say it's sort of unmediated, but I would say it's highly mediated, because they've got that one, think of the first episode where the guy gets killed, the amount of footage in it is actually, there's not that much. There's a huge amount of storytelling around that.
That's right.
Brilliant graphics.
I didn't mean the film as a whole. I mean, the film as a whole absolutely was, as you said, was very carefully
and the way they combined the user-generated footage and the interviews and the graphics as well. Those great 3D graphics showing where the Taliban were coming in and how they were coming this way and they were coming that way, which just kind of brought it all to life and brought this very confused picture, which is what you get from a headcam, actually made it watchable in a way that, an awful lot of stuff that is on YouTube isn't really watchable for more than about 30 seconds.